That summer heat and the dry weather are all putting a strain on Northwest Arkansas's water supply. The little rain combined with growing demand is causing a loss of about 3 feet of stored water per day. So 17 communities are asking people to cut back. Taneytown made it mandatory with an odd, even water schedule and is banning outdoor pool filling. The director of public works says the regional system is undergoing some upgrades, but right now there are no immediate fixes.
They're spending lots of money upgrading their system, putting in larger pipes and more storage.
Taneytown says more restrictions could follow if water use doesn't drop. New at noon, a police chase in Logan County ended with the arrest of an Oklahoma woman and her SUV overturned in a ditch. Logan County deputies were called about 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon about a possibly intoxicated woman at a Dollar General. They say she refused to stop, leading officers into Paris. An Arkansas State Police trooper then used a tactical vehicle intervention maneuver, sending the SUV into a ditch. The woman was then taken to a hospital. She now faces felony fleeing, aggravated assault, and several traffic charges. The League of Women Voters of Arkansas is calling on Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders to recall Arkansas National Guard troops deployed in Washington, D.C. The group says the ongoing mission raises concerns about local control and the use of Guard forces for domestic policing. The governor's office is pushing back, saying crime has fallen in cities where National Guard troops have been deployed, including Washington and Memphis. The Arkansas Guard has participated in the D.C. mission since November of last year. The broader deployment is currently authorized through January 20th, 2029. A Mississippi murder suspect is now behind bars after he was caught in Sallisaw. 34-year-old Cornelius Hudson is accused of murdering a woman in Ruleville, Mississippi on Tuesday morning. U.S. Marshals and the Gulf Coast Regional Fugitive Task Force tracked him to a motel in Sallisaw, where he was arrested. He'll now be taken back to Mississippi to face his charges there. Brian Hyatt, the former psychiatrist accused of holding patients against their will, was back in court today. Hyatt is the former head of the behavioral health unit at Northwest Medical Center in Springdale. He's facing state and federal charges. A federal indictment alleges Hyatt and multiple staff members used force, threats, and powerful medications to keep patients inside the facility. Today's hearing focused on Arkansas state charges of Medicaid fraud. Fort Smith City directors are considering ideas about how to regulate future data centers. The city's addressing concerns about possible increased water usage. On Tuesday, one director offered up an idea to help cover those costs.
I would like to propose a 4 times what the standard residential rate for the city of Fort Smith would be for a data center inside the city or outside the city.
Now, right now, there are no plans for a data center in the immediate Fort Smith area. The only one being built right now in the River Valley is in Johnson County. The Rogers City Council has approved calling that special election this November for that proposed bond package. Voters will now decide whether to extend the city's 1-cent sales tax and what that revenue would fund. The total proposed bond package is about $457 million. $118 million would refinance old bonds, while $339 million would go toward capital improvement projects. A majority of those improvements would be for city roads, but millions would also go toward parks and rec, police, fire, and animal services. The county will hold the ballot draw for the election in 2 weeks. Well, Springdale has officially filled its vacant city council seat. Rex Bailey will take over the Ward 2 spot left vacant by Aaron Huntley, who resigned this year. Bailey was a longtime Ward 2 councilor and was previously called to fill a vacant seat 4 years ago. He'll fill that position until the November election. The city's already called a special election to fill the seat. Washington County will hold its ballot draw next Friday and approve ballots on the 27th. Lowell City leaders will meet today for a special meeting. The police chief addressed this in a message on the department's official Facebook page, saying this meeting is, quote, a hasty attempt to move forward with selling the new Lowell Police Department and City Hall buildings. The chief says rumors the buildings will bankrupt the city are not true. The special meeting agenda says the council will discuss and could potentially amend its rules. That meeting starts at 6:30 tonight. Well, Fort Smith Public Schools opens its doors for a new school year today, bringing thousands of students back to campuses across town. 5 News reporter Emily Moss tells us what's new this year.
It's the first day of school here for Fort Smith Public Schools. I'm at Cook Elementary, and it was quite a party earlier with the red carpet, the speakers, the bubble machines. Lots of fun this morning, but now school is officially in session. I talked to the superintendent, Martin Mahan, who tells me that this year there's not a lot of changes, but teachers started working weeks ago, even before their contracted hours, to make sure that the start of the year would be perfect. Now I talked to Dr. Kelly Mitten, the assistant superintendent for curriculum at Fort Smith Public Schools, who tells me that this time of year is always her favorite year, and she reiterated just all of the work that goes into the preparation.
We start preparing for the first day, the last day of school, all summer long. Our teachers, our administrators, our custodians, our facilities crew, our nutrition workers are preparing to greet students this day.
Mahan tells me that the first couple of days here are going to be running a little bit slower, whether that's the bus routes, the drop off and pick up, or even the lunch lines. He's asking for patience from parents and students as everybody gets back into that rhythm of school. In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Emily Moss, 5 News.
Well, college students are also getting ready for a new school year. A UA Fort Smith spokesperson says this morning hundreds of students moved in on campus. The school says to expect heavy traffic along Waldron Road. And on Friday, the Sebastian Commons and Lions Den residents will be moving in from 9 to 1. UAFS says that might impact traffic at the intersection of Grand Avenue and North 50th. Just in time for back to school, 7 Brew is making your morning coffee run just a little bit easier. The drive-through coffee chain launched its first mobile app today. So customers can now order ahead and keep track of their rewards on their phones. The app is free to download on both the Apple App Store and Google Play.